Good morning and welcome children. In today's session of English classroom for class 12, we are doing one lesson from the snapshot, the supplementary reader. The name of the lesson, on the face of it, we already have completed part 1 and part 2. So we will do part 3 today. The author is Susan Hill. So in part 1 and part 2, whatever we have done, after that we'll continue. But let me begin with the introduction part. Okay, yeah, so on the face of it, introduction. This is play about an old man, Mr. Lamb, and small boy named Derry. Derry suffers from a complex. He gets one side of his face burned. He always remains sad and alone. He doesn't like to go near people because they don't like him and say him ugly comments. Mr. Lamb himself has a thin leg and he has a very positive attitude towards life and people. He shows the right way to young Derry about judging men and life, and he also encourages him to lead a normal life, leaving behind his past. The major areas of discussion, we already have completed the first 5 major areas of discussion. Okay, these are: Derry enters Lamb's garden, Derry's burnt face, Lamb has a thin leg, Derry suffers from a complex, and Derry indulges in self-pity. Now what will be our subject today? The next or the last 3 areas of discussion, the major areas. Okay, Mr. Lamb shows the way, a reaction of Derry's mother, and Derry comes back, but Mr. Lamb dies. Before going to the textual reference, I would like to refer here one or two things. This is a play, and as it play, it has 3 different scene, 1, 2, 3, and a little bit lengthy. That's why, but we must have to we are taking more time to complete this one. But the thing is that text is very important. Knowing merely the substance or the summary of the lesson is not enough. You must have to know the text, and that's why I thought and I referred to the text and tried to give a reference to the text. So dear children, be attentive and see the textual references. Okay, Mr. Lamb shows the way, a reaction of Derry's mother. Derry comes back, and but Mr. Lamb dies. Now see, these are the things Mr. Lamb shows the way, how he motivates him. Number 1, he reminds Derry that he can't lock himself up in a room and never leave it, and narrated him the story of a man who was afraid of everything in the world. So he went into his room, locked the door, and stayed inside. But what was the result? Ultimately, he must have to die. A picture fell on his head and he died. He says that he enjoys life as it comes. He sits in the sun and reads book. He is not fond of curtains. Next, he said he motivates Derry by saying that he has got 2 arms, 2 legs, and eyes and ears. So he got a tongue and also a brain. He can get on way that he want, like all the best. Even if he chooses, he can get on better than all the best. Derry can live the same way as he does. For him, everything is welcome. The gate is always open. He tells him that he should not hate anyone, as hatred is more harmful than a bottle of acid. This is very important. We will discuss more with the textual references. Now see, now Derry asks a question: what do you do all day? Mr. Lamb says, sit in the sun, read books. You thought it was an empty house, but it inside is full books and other things. It's full. Right? Now in this way, their conversation proceeded. We'll go to the next one. Mr. Lamb, so you are not lost. You are you not altogether? You do hear things. You listen. Okay, yeah. As Derry said, I can hear, like you can see this one. Yes, I like that. When it's raining, like to hear it on the roof. So in that reference, Mr. Lamb said, did you also hear things? Now Derry, they talk about me downstairs when I'm not there. What the family members and their mother his mother used to talk about: what will he ever do? What is going to happen to him when we have gone? However, will he get on this world looking like this with that on his face? That's what they say. Actually, this actually tormented him from inside. Now, Mr. Lamb said what? See how he motivated by saying that, Lord, boy, you have got 2 arms, 2 legs, and eyes and ears. You have got a tongue and a brain. You will get on the way you want, like all the best. And if you choose, set your mind to it, you could get on better than all the best. This is how he motivated. Now, Derry, do you have any friends? He asked this question. Why? Because he didn't have anyone. Mr. Lamb said, friends everywhere. People come in. Everybody knows me. The gate always open. They come in and sit here, and in front of the fire in winter, kids come for the apples and pears, and for toffee, I make toffee with honey. Anybody comes, do have you. So have you. Now, Daddy said, but I'm not your friend. Mr. Lamb, see how he replied. We'll go skip and go a little bit further. He said that Mr. Lamb said, what? Why should they signify? Why should that signify? Do I have to write all your particulars down and put them in a filling box before you can be a friend? There is, I suppose, no, not. No, Mr. Lamb. You could tell me your name if you chose and not if you didn't. Derry said, Derry. Only it's Derek. But I hate that. Derry, if I'm your friend, you don't have to be mine. I choose that. Mr. Lamb, certainly. Now, in this way, the conversation went on. Now, we'll see next. Yeah. So, actually, Mr. Lamb said what? Doesn't that mean they are enemies? Means if someone is not acquainted to you, if he is not your friend, then it won't be your enemies also. Daddy said, no, they are not just people, nothing people, that's all. Mr. Lamb said, people are never just nothing, never. Daddy, there are some people I hate. Now, in that reply, Mr. Lamb said what? That would do you more harm than any bottle of acid. Acid only will burn your face, but that will burn you from inside. Daddy said, you said only burns my face. Mr. Lamb said, like a bomb only blew my leg. There is worse thing can happen. You can burn yourself away inside. He said that acid, he said that the bomb blast that has taken away one of my leg, that's okay, and that's why, but the rest of the other parts are okay. In the same way, the acid had burned only one side of your face. But you, if you start hating people, if you develop hatred for the people, then definitely it will burn the complete part of you. Now, we'll proceed further. The most important areas that we'll touch. Now, Daddy said, I would like a place like this, a garden. I would like a house with no curtain. Now, Daddy, from here you will find a kind of regeneration, a kind of change in Daddy. Mr. Lamb said, the gate is always open. Daddy, but this isn't mine. Mr. Lamb, everything is yours if you want. What's mine is everybody's. Daddy, so I could come here again. Even if you were out, I could come here. Now, Daddy said. Now he had a confusion. Like Mr. Lamb says, certainly you might find others here also. Of course, they say, oh. Now, when other people will be there, he had that fear within Daddy that they will look at his face and think some other way. Now, Mr. Lamb said, well, that needn't stop you. You needn't mind. You needn't mind the presence of other people. Daddy, it would stop them. It would stop them. They would mind me. When they saw me here, they look at my face and run away. Mr. Lamb said, they might not. You would have to take the risk. So would they. He said that, why you thinking about all these things, that what other people thinking about? You think about yourself. You take the world as it is. Okay, now Mr. Lamb, when I go down the street, the kids shout, lammy lamb. But they still come into the garden, into my house. It's a game. They are not afraid of me. Why should they be? Because I am not afraid of them. That's why not. Mr. Lamb said, what? The people call me lammy lamb. Children used to come, they used to call that. It's okay. I feel that it's okay. I don't have one leg. So lammy lamb called. It's okay. Now Daddy said, didn't you get your legs blown and all these things? He talked about that, how he lost finally. Now Daddy remembers about his mother. How his mother will react. Now said what? But my mother will want to know where I am. It's 3 miles from home, across the fields. I'm 14, but still they still want to know where I am. Okay, now uh, in this way, Mr. Lamb said people worry. Daddy said people first here means what? Show of anger and worry. Now Mr. Lamb go back and tell them Daddy it 3 miles. Now in this way he said that he must have to go back to home. Yeah. Now the explanation is given. The thing that we have discussed that you are going to get here. If you want, you may see that one also. Okay. Now. Yeah, so Derry said those people who come here, do they talk to you? Those people whom you are saying friend, do they talk to you, ask you things? Mr. Lamb, some do, some don't. I ask them, I like to learn. Now, actually, Derry had a lot of confusion about this and how people react to it, how Mr. Lamb could adapt himself with the people and all these things. So that's why you are asking question. Do you have any friends? Do they talk with you? How do you spend your time? All these things. Now, Mr. Lamb said, people come. Sometimes they do talk, sometimes they don't, but that doesn't matter to me. Okay. Now, Derry said, I don't believe in them. I don't think anybody ever comes. You are here all by yourself and miserable, and no one would know if you were alive or dead, or nobody cares. Mr. Lamb, you think what you please. Derry, all right then. Tell me some of their names, Mr. Lamb. What are names? Tom, Dick, Harry. I'm off down with the bees. Now, Mr. Lamb said, I must have to go and to see the bees. And Derry said, you are like the others. You like to say things that, sorry, if you don't feel sorry for my face, you are frightened of it. And if you are not frightened, you think I am ugly as a devil. I am a devil. Don't you? Don't you feel like that? Shouts. Mr. Lamb doesn't reply. He goes to the bees. Now Daddy said quiet. No, you don't. I like it here. I like to be here. Pause. Now Daddy gets up and shouts, I'm going, but I will come back. You will see. You wait. I can run. I have got my... I haven't got a tin leg like you. That's what you want to say. I'll be back. Now Daddy runs off. Then silence and all these things. So Mr. Lamb to himself said, There my dears that you seen to we all know I will be back. They never do, though not them, never do come back. The garden noise fade away. In this way, now we'll see the reaction of Daddy's mother when he went home, how mother reacted. Yeah, this is the scene 2 at Daddy's house. Mother, you think I don't know about him? You think I haven't heard things? I haven't heard things about Mr. Lamb? Why should you go? That's what her question. Daddy said, you shouldn't believe all you hear. Now see the reaction. He's saying what? Sorry. What was being taught to him by Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb said, you need not to believe everything that you hear. Mother said, been told, warned, you have not lived here 3 months. But I know what there is to know, and you are not to go back there. Now Daddy said, what are you afraid of? What do you think he is? An old man with a tin leg, and he lives in a huge house without curtains and has a garden, and I want to be there and sit and listen to things and listen and look. Mother, listen to what? Daddy, bees singing, him talking. So here we can say that he is now has been changed after meeting with Mr. Lamb. He is talking the words of Mr. Lamb that has influenced him so much that he's accepted those words. Now, mother, and what is he got to say to you? Daddy, things that matters, things nobody else had ever said, things I want to think about. Now Daddy said what? The thing that actually matter, those are being told by Mr. Lamb, and I like to think in that way. Mother said, then you stay here and do your thinking. You are best off here. Don't leave and don't go out of here. Now Daddy said, I hate it here. Mother, you can't help the things you say. I forgive you. It's bound to make you feel bad things and say them. I don't blame you, Daddy. It's going nothing to do with my face and what I look like. I don't care about that, and it isn't important. It's what I think and feel and what I want to see and find out and hear, and I'm going back there. Only to help him with the crab apples, only to look at things and listen, and I'm going. Derry, now you'll see in this statement the thing, he is a completely changed man. What he said? Changed young man. So what he said, it's got nothing to do with my face. Still in the first part of the lesson, what we have seen, he was concerned more with his face, his burnt face. He said that he didn't want to go in the company of the people. He always used to think the how people are reacting, thinking about his burnt face, looking at his face. Now Derry said, it got nothing to do with my face and what I look like. What matters then? I don't care about that, and it isn't important. Then what is important? It's what I think and feel and what I want to see and find out and hear. Okay, and I'm going back there. Now mother said, you will stop here, Derry. Oh no, because I don't go back, because if I don't go back there, I will never go anywhere in this world again. The door slams, Derry runs panting, and I want the world. I want it. It means what? I want the means I want to live in this world. I want to make my space in this world, and that's why I need to go today. If I don't go today, I won't be able to change. Now Derry comes back. Derry comes back home. His mother wants him to go back there. Derry assures that she need not fear. Only an old man with a tin leg lived there. He has a huge house and a garden. He says things nobody else has ever said. Now Derry runs to Mr. Lamb's garden. He opens the gate and cries that he has come back. Suddenly there was a crash. The ladder falls back. Mr. Lamb also falls with it and dies. Now Derry begins to weep. He goes on crying, Lammy Lamb, I did come back. I will see that text. Mr. Lamb's garden. Scene 3. He again reached Mr. Lamb's garden. Again the garden sound, the noise of the branch shifting, apples thumping down. Then branch shifting again. Mr. Lamb steady. That's got it. That's it, Mr. Apple. He was just plucking the apples. Then suddenly a crash sound came. Okay, something something that has been snapped or been broken. The ladder falls back. Mr. Lamb with it. A thump. The branch swishes back. Creaks. Then silence. Derry opens the garden gate, still panting. Derry, you see, I came back. You said I wouldn't, and they said, but I come back. I wanted. He stops dead. Silence. Mr. Lamb, Mister, you have. He runs through the grass, stops, then kneels. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. You fell. I'm here. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. Silence. I came back. Sorry. Sorry. Lamb, I did come back. Derry begins to weep now. Actually, he is dead. He is no more. Now, this is what is the lesson. Okay. Now, we'll see the important parts that what were the confusion or question of Derry and how Mr. Lamb answered and motivated. First, were it not the same? Mr. Lamb answered by saying, I am old, you are young, you got a burnt face, I have got a thin leg. Not important. You are standing there, I am sitting here. Where is the difference? Derry said. Derry, but you can put on trousers and cover it up, his thin leg, okay? And no one sees, but they don't have to notice and stare. Mr. Lamb says, some do, some don't. They get tired of it. In the end, there's plenty of things to stare in this world. Okay? Now, Derry, I don't ever look different. When I am as old as you, I would look the same. I will still only have a half face. So you did, but the world won't. The world got a whole face, and the world there to be looked at. He said that you can have a half face, but why do you think in such way? You look at the whole world. You need not to think that what people are thinking about you, rather than you think, you see the world and try to adjust yourself with the different pattern in this world. Now Derry said, I it won't make my face change. Do you know, one day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop, and she was with another woman, and she looked at me and she said, whispered, only I heard her. She said, look at that, there's a terrible thing, that's a face only a mother could love. Now Mr. Lamb, how he replied, so now you keep your ears shut, don't hear all these things. Mr. Lamb, I have a hive. Now he tried to make him understand by saying that the world appears the way you look at them. I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz, but when you listen to bees for a long while, they hum, and hum means sing. I hear them singing my bees. So in this way try to motivate. Now do you have any friends? He said friends everywhere. He said that the whole world is friend. Why should I isolate myself? The whole world, people comes here, everyone is my friend. Whether people take me as friend or not, that doesn't matter. Now Dedi, another place he said that I don't like being near people. When they stare, when I see them, being afraid of me. Mr. Lamb said, you could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. There's a man, he told that story, how that man locked himself and finally he had to die. So in this way try to motivate that is not the solution of the problem. You cannot lock yourself. You must have to be in the company of the people, in the midst of the people, and don't think what others are thinking about you. Rather you think, look at the world, and the way world appears you see and try to understand like that. Now Derry, the last one, we'll see. They talk about me downstairs when I'm not there. What will he ever do? What's going to happen to him when we have gone? However will he get on in this world looking like that, with that face? So people used to express their concern. Now Mr. Lamb said, Lord, boy, you have got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes and ears. Okay, you are a complete man in a sense. So if you, rather than thinking about your face, if you choose the right thing and do something different, then definitely you can get better than all the best. So these are the areas where this was being he was being motivated. Now this one already we have discussed with you, the flow of the event. Loud Derry, half burnt face, then after he meets Mr. Lamb in a garden, then people are afraid of my face. This was the statement of Mr. Derry, get acid down on my face. Then after I ate it ate my face, and it made the difference of perceptions were there between them. Then he Mr. Lamb referred to the story of Beauty and the Beast. Now Derry replied by saying what? Mother kissed me because she has to. The women in the street whispers a face only mother could love. Now you can love yourself lock yourself in a room and still not be safe. That's what is the reply. Now man who did that didn't go anywhere, afraid of dying, locked in a room, died of a picture falling on his head. Now world is beautiful, enjoy it. Sit in sun, read, enjoy the world. That's what the suggestion of Mr. Lamb. You have got everything to get on as others, like 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, all these things talk about. Maybe better people on street is to talk about that, all these things that only a mother can love this face and all. Now burn yourself from inside. Negativity will do more harm than acid. Now see, parents don't let me, they won't let to yourself. Now coming back, he said, I will be back. He promised that I will be back. Okay, you wait. Derry comes back at home. What happened? Mother stops him. If I don't go back there, I will never go anywhere in the world. That was the statement of Derry. Now Mr. Lamb has fallen off the ladder and broken his neck. Mr. Lamb died. Passes on his on his positivity and enthusiasm to Derry. But before his death, he had transferred that in him, that positivity, and Derry is now completely a changed boy. Here the story at a glance that already I have discussed here. You may see the things. I don't want to repeat all these things. It will kind of help you a kind of part of literature. And the character sketch of Derry, this is important, has a negative attitude towards life, suffers from a sense of inferiority, complexity. He feels lonely and is withdrawn and defiant, then avoids meeting and interacting with people. He felt offended by the cruel and uncharitable remarks. He felt that he was the ugliest man on the earth, doesn't trust people. He is like an open wound, touchy and hypersensitive. Now, character sketch of Mr. Lamb. Question comes. That's why I have chosen these two topics. Social keeps the social. He was very social. Keeps the gate open for everybody. Doesn't mind being teased by children. A patient listener, suffers from no complex, accepts life as it is. He is always cheerful and try to comfort others, motivating, has a positive outlook towards life, people and things. Lives alone but rarely displays sign of loneliness and disappointment. He was philosophical. He wants to have company. He has friends everywhere. He enjoys sitting in sun and reading books. These are the characteristics of Mr. Lamb. You can compare and contrast also with the help of this point. So this is the lesson. I suppose you understood. I already have shared a few questions through Google Classroom. You may go through that, and one particular crossword puzzle I have shared. I want that you should go through that to understand better. Okay, and the vocabulary, your vocabulary test also will be there. So I request all of you to do the assignment and read this, listen this one properly once again if you want. Okay, next day we'll conduct one live class with just a minute. I will give you time for 1 minute to speak on a topic. I will decide and distribute the topics also to you beforehand. Thank you very much.